Welcome to Knife Chats. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with friends, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Thank you.
A couple of people have asked me about this knife. This is the Marbles GI knife, which is a copy of the milk knife that the U.S. Army uses or used to use. This is one by Camillus, and this is one by Queen. And the reason I've got them out is to show you a little bit about the one by Marbles here. First of all, the price for this Marbles one is like $7 or $8, so it is really low priced. It is made in China. The steel used throughout is 440A, and it is made in the same factory as Rough Rider knives are made. But I don't know if it's set at the same quality standard as Rough Riders. To me, I've bought quite a few Marbles knives, and I've always found the quality to be as good as the older Rough Rider knives were. I guess it may be a little step below some of the newer Rough Riders, but for me, I've always felt that the quality was there. I know other people have a different opinion of it. When I first got this knife, the first thing I noticed is that the blades are bent, and you usually don't see that on the old demo knives or the old Army utility knives. Here you have one by Camillus. Notice how straight the blades are. Also, the width of the Camillus knife is, if you can see there, just going to do it in millimeters, 11.4 millimeters. Okay. The width of the Marbles knife is 12.9 millimeters, so it is a thicker knife, not a lot thicker. Oh no, yeah, 12.9 millimeters, we'll go with that. So it's a little bit thicker. You can actually see when you look here that it is definitely a little bit thicker. But the thing that really got me was the bent blades. I didn't understand why they needed to bend the blades. You do notice that the blades are a little thicker than the ones on the Camillus. This is one from 1985. But what got me was I didn't like the blades being bent. And then I picked up one by Queen, and you notice the blades are bent on the Queen. And so I guess the Marbles one is based off of the knives that were made by Queen, which were also the same knives that are made by Ontario. And the Ontario or Queen knife is 11.5 millimeters thick. So that's the difference between them. And you see the blades are definitely thicker. It doesn't really hurt the operation of the knife. You also notice here, let's just look at this one for a while. Marbles tank stamp on the can opener does not say can opener on it. It's got a match striker pull. You're not going to see any of that on an original knife. Same thing over here with the cap lifter screwdriver. You've got Marbles on there and a match striker pull. And that can opener looks very much like what you found on the old Queen one. It is different than what you see on the ones by Camillus. Not a lot different, but a little bit different. So this is really closer to the Queen, like I said. One of the issues I have with it, though, and this is probably one of the biggest issues you'll also have with it if you get it. Again, Marbles, match striker pull. Marbles tank stamp is on every blade. The punch, which I use a lot on these knives, I use the punch probably more than the main blade, and I'm usually drilling holes and stuff. I don't know if I want to use this one for it. For one thing, it looks sharp, but it's not sharp. It does have a nice point, but compared to the one on the Queen, notice this one has a little bevel there, and Also not extremely sharp, but sharp enough, a little sharper. That bevel adds a lot of strength to the punch. This one is just flat, and I'm concerned that it might bend. And the other problem you have is because of this bend and the direction that they have it bend, see those scratches there? When you close this, it actually hits the main blade. So the main blade has a definite scratch on the side, a couple scratches actually, from the punch. So there is definite blade rub going on. And it also, for some reason, they felt the need, and they do this with almost every Marbles knife. It'll have a blade edge on their Marbles quality knives. And I'm thinking that perhaps the old Marbles always had a blade edge. I don't know. I don't have a USA made Marbles, but a lot of the Marbles knives will have this blade edge on it. So if you don't like blade edges, well, you're stuck with one on a Marbles knife. Again, the tang stamp there. There's also an ever so light amount of blade wobble in this blade, and that's probably from the blade rub that is happening. And I think you have a little bit of blade wobble on this end too. Actually, no. I guess if you try real hard you can get that to wobble, but not really much. The can opener and the screwdriver do not have any wobble to them though. The other thing you notice very easily, notice the shine there versus we'll go with this one here. There is some shine, but it's not nearly as shiny as this one is. So this is almost like a mirror polish on the stainless steel scales on this knife. And yes, these actually could be called a scale, a handle, or a cover, because it's just one piece. Actually, no. That is just a cover because there's two pieces there. The scale is underneath the cover. Yeah, there's, you notice the spacers there, all the liners in the back there. There's a lot of liners. There's a liner for every blade. Any case, nice and shiny, shinier than what you will see on a regular utility knife. And if you notice also there with the US, there are no periods between the letters or after the letter. Your typical GI knife or utility knife, US government utility knife, will actually say US with periods after each letter. The Marbles does not have those letters. It's just stamped US. But the question is it worth $7? My opinion is yes, it is definitely worth the $7 that you would pay for it. To get an actual military knife, you're going to have to go through open bidding. You may or may not get one for, I have been lucky enough to get some for $15, but I would say on average, the ones that are in excellent condition, you end up paying between $30 and $40 for them. And some places, you can't even bid on a knife like this on eBay, so that makes another deal going on with it. But you can get this one, any day of the week for $7, so, or $8, somewhere around that. Another thing I didn't even mention, the clevis on the back here, it's a little tight, which is actually good because it keeps it out of the path of the blade. And it's also pretty long, longer than the one you find on the one by Queen, and longer, if we can get it to do that again, longer than the one you find on Camillus knives. So if you're looking for a longer clevis, you're definitely going to find it on the one by Marbles, and it's good. It's not really flimsy or anything. It's good. You're going to have to work at it to bend it. So slight blade wobble on this particular one I have, but all in all, it's really not too bad of a knife, especially for $8. So, would I recommend people buying the Marbles GI knife? Yeah, if this is something you really want to have in your collection, you do have to understand it's made in China. It was not an actual issue knife, but if you're looking for buying a bunch of knives for a scout troop or something, come on, $8 a person, it's not bad, or anything of that nature. So I think it's definitely worth the $8 that you're going to pay for it. But no, it is not a genuine U.S. Army or U.S. military Mil-818K. It's just not that. But it's a pretty reasonable copy for $8. That's about as far as I can go with that. Hope that helps all those people out there who are asking about the Marbles GI knife.
Thank you for visiting Knife Chats. I hope you enjoyed your time here. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel and ringing that notification bell so that you will be notified when the next episode of Knife Chats is up online. Thanks again. See you soon.